Welcome to our show entitled Reverend Pastor Robert Munro, Vegan of the Humanitarian Church. Reverend Pastor Robert Munro, or as he likes to be called, Pastor Rob, is the founder of the St. Francis of Assisi Parish of the Humanitarian Church, a whole food, plant-based, vegan house of worship in Erieville, New York, USA. Pastor Rob preaches a vegan sermon there every Sunday. He is also well-versed in vegan nourishment, having earned an E. Cornell certificate in plant-based nutrition, a course created by Dr. T. Colin Campbell of the China Study fame. The Humanitarian Church's mission is to introduce the whole food, plant-based diet to impoverished, unhealthy communities throughout the world so as to provide freedom from illness and cease the consumption of animal products so as to honor the commandment, "Thou shalt not kill." In 2010, at the age of 50, Pastor Robert's life changed when he suffered his third stroke. His left side was paralyzed, his left eye was blind, and he was unable to talk or walk. The doctors gave him 6 months to live. His partner at the time was a physician who convinced him to stop eating animal products, and thus he adopted a whole food plant-based diet with no sugar, salt, or oil. 26 days after becoming vegan, the paralysis of his left side was gone, his vision returned, and he stopped slurring and drooling. Not only did he fully recover, but he also became healthier than ever. 2 years after becoming vegan, he experienced a profound spiritual moment, realizing that animal flesh in the body blocks the connection to God. From this epiphany, he began his mission to advocate that everyone adopt veganism. Pastor Rob deeply regrets not having switched to plant-based living earlier and feels heavy guilt for all the animals who died due to his previous eating habits. He has decided to devote his life to God and the animals as well to make up for their deaths.
At 50 years old, if you use the math, I'm responsible for 5,000 deaths. How is it that I can face God one day? No apology can get there. So I decided to give everything to the church, live on minimal things, just food, because I need 5,000 lifetimes to make up for the 5,000 animals that died for me to eat them. I can't create life, so the best I can do is give my life in the service of God.
His incredible spiritual realization 2 years after shifting to an animal-free diet inspired Pastor Rob to found a vegan church. His journey to establish a house of worship was not easy, but he feels that God guided and helped him to buy a church in central New York State that was built in 1821. Reverend Pastor Rob says he sees God in animals and that animals are so innocent, soft, and full of love, which is God. To him, leading a vegan lifestyle will open the gate to heaven, and he preaches this view in his sermons. Pastor Rob says, we cannot see or hear God when we still have animal flesh in our bodies. This man of the cloth believes that religious and spiritual leaders have the responsibility to lead their parishioners and followers on the right path. He thus urges these persons in high positions to follow veganism and that they ask those in their respective religious and spiritual communities to do the same. He does this by various methods, including reminding them of their duty during his Sunday vegan Mass. In a letter he wrote to religious and spiritual heads, he asked them to eat vegan for the sake of all animals, love, compassion, peace on earth, and God's sake. We will now pause and return right after a constructive message. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to our program. Reverend Pastor Robert Munro, vegan, of the Humanitarian Church. Pastor Rob gives inspiring sermons, and his Sunday vegan Mass and worship service are live streamed weekly on Facebook at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here to remind the world of the Holy Bible statements on veganism, he reads from the book of Genesis and explains the scriptures.
And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every seed, green herb for meat. And it was so. In these verses, it refers to the vegetation as being meat. That's our true meat of what we should eat. This, I would have to say, is one of the few times God spoke to humans directly. Throughout this Bible, in every scripture I've read, I've yet to see many passages where the Lord speaks to us directly. It is irrefutable. It does not say that we can eat animals at any time. So please, and this is specifically to any other pastors, clergy, ministers, priests, deacons. It's the first chapter of the Bible. Follow it. Preach veganism from your pulpit.
Also, during Sunday vegan Mass, he shares quotes from the Vegan Bible, a vegan guide to the Holy Scriptures by Novel J. Husky, such as this one.
I believe in all my heart that our Creator is a vegan God.
Reverend Pastor Rob Munro's main goal now is to help animals. He spends lots of time talking to people about eating cruelty-free, and it is challenging as some individuals he encounters do not understand or accept the vegan concept. However, these obstacles do not stop him due to his love for animals and his strong faith in God. He has played vegan documentaries like Cowspiracy and cooked plant-based meals for those wishing to learn about veganism, as well as let vegan groups use the church's space for meetups. Happily, Pastor Rob was able to convince one rancher in his community who had a 25-hectare cattle raising operation to switch to vegetable farming. The Humanitarian Church promotes vegan living with a program that introduces the whole food plant-based diet to disadvantaged households, offers free produce to them, and assists in their dietary transition. The church buys 1,800 plus kilograms of vegetables and fruits weekly and then distributes them to 150 families throughout southeastern Massachusetts and northern Rhode Island. With the church's help, many people stopped buying meat and processed foods. Program participants report that after 40 days of having only plant-based meals, there is more peace between family members, their families become happier and healthier, and their children do better in school. After around 60 days of eating only plant foods, they say they have a new or renewed faith and connection to God. Furthermore, the Humanitarian Church shows other members of the community how to cook and prepare vegan meals. This house of worship holds services for animals, such as praying for the injured, performing ceremonial blessings, and conducting funerals. Finally, we wanted to note that in corresponding with Pastor Rob regarding the creation of this show, he wrote, "Supreme Master Ching Hai is my hero. I think she's doing so much good for the world." Our deep appreciation goes to Reverend Pastor Robert Munro and the Humanitarian Church for helping people and animals in need, offering people spiritual guidance and providing strong vegan advocacy. May more and more people, including religious and spiritual leaders, follow your outstanding example and help swiftly convert our planet to a plant-based world. Supreme Master Ching Hai gratefully present Reverend Pastor Robert Munro with the Shining World Compassion Award, along with a humble loving gift of $10,000 to support your vegan humanitarian church. Lots of love, praises, and prayers for your mission's success in God's mercy. Supreme Master Ching Hai is deeply grateful to the beloved God for all the financial help, comfort, and support to the afflicted and needy, and or any good cause over the years as a humble vessel for His compassion and love toward His precious children. To learn more about Reverend Pastor Robert Munro and the Humanitarian Church, please visit the following websites: thehumanitarianchurch.com, facebook.com/The Humanitarian Church. Kind viewers, thank you for joining us for today's program.